With this ice storm, it's going to be cold. It's liable to have all the power lines in the affected areas will be down.
Bundle up and be ready for the worst. That's the message from the governor as emergency management officials work around the clock to keep everyone safe from this winter weather that's working its way through the Midlands and South Carolina.
So far, so good for most of us in the Midlands, but things are expected to change later tonight and into Sunday. I have the latest look at our forecast coming up.
We're going to play by ear, see what happens. You know, sometimes things can be for the worst, so sometimes it can be for the best.
Being ready for the worst, hoping for the best. Several parts of the Midlands have the pieces in place to keep people safe and warm should the power go down. We have team coverage of what public safety officials want you to know tonight. The News at 10 starts now.
Live from the Fox Studios in Columbia, it's Watch Fox News at 10, Local First.
It is indeed a weather-worn day, and look at the size of this winter storm we're in the middle of. That's an image from space, and it gives you a pretty good idea of what the country and region's dealing with. Snow's already fallen west of us from Texas to Missouri. Driving conditions only getting worse there by the second after the sun went down. We might not see any snow here, but we do have some things to watch for. Good Saturday evening to you. Thanks for joining us for a slightly late edition of the News at 10. I'm Brian McConkey. We're going to go straight to the Skywatch Weather Center. Chief Meteorologist Taylor Knust has been tracking this system all week. Now we're starting to live it. What's the latest on this deal?
So far, we're in pretty good shape, Brian, this evening. So a slightly later arrival than we had anticipated, but the radar is starting to show some scattered freezing rain showers, and we have had reports of at least some freezing drizzle and occasional sleet in the Midlands over the past couple of hours. Where you see pink on the radar is where some of those freezing rain showers have popped up. It's not occurring everywhere. As time rolls on, as we head into the overnight hours, we are anticipating the coverage of this to become more widespread. So many, if not all of us, should get at least some freezing rain at one point or another tonight. And I do still anticipate that many of our roads will be at least slick across much of the area when you wake up tomorrow morning. The richer moisture right now is to our north and to our west. We're anticipating some of these showers out to our west to make their way to South Carolina tonight. There's also a little cluster of showers offshore that may drift northward. That gives us a decent chance at some precipitation late tonight and into Sunday. Let's get you to Future Watch and show you what we're expecting tonight through tomorrow. Again, it's not showing a whole lot here right now, but it does expand the coverage of the pink, which is freezing rain, as we move through the night, especially north of I-20. That's where it's probably going to be a bit more consistent. Upstate South Carolina guaranteed to get some pretty heavy ice tonight through tomorrow. Many of us catch a bit of a break, kind of like what we're seeing right now during the middle of the day tomorrow, and then the final round of precipitation comes our way Sunday evening. If we warm up above freezing by that point, we're looking at heavy rain downpours on Sunday evening, maybe even a few thunderstorms at that point, believe it or not. A very dynamic system, and we do have some good changes to our ice forecast. Let's toss it over to meteorologist Will Rowe for the closer look at that.
Yeah, that's right, Taylor. We have actually had to bring down our totals slightly because of some of our newer model data suggesting we might not see as much ice here locally. So we have dropped our totals down to about 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch here in Columbia, Lexington, also up in Bishopville. We're still holding true to about 1/2 an inch at most across the northern Midlands for Newberry and Winsboro, but we have brought those down a little bit to about 1/4 to 1/2 an inch, and we're still unchanged the further south you go. Orangeburg and Clarendon counties likely not picking up much, maybe up to 1/10 of an inch of ice. But either way, we are still going to see some pretty dangerous travel conditions overnight tonight as that precipitation increases, and that continues into early tomorrow morning. Then once our temperatures start to come back up into your Sunday afternoon and Sunday evening, still use some caution because there could still be some patchy spots of ice on the roadways. However, we should start to see some of that melt, especially as the temperatures come back above 32 degrees. Chief Meteorologist Taylor Knust will have a full look at your forecast heading into the overnight hours and into tomorrow, coming up in about 10 minutes. Brian.
All right, thank you, Will and Taylor. Well, we have teams scattered throughout the Midlands to tracking this weather situation. We begin with our Mike White. He is in downtown Columbia outside one of the shelters that's been set up. Now, you heard from the governor and public safety officials a few hours ago. They talked about what to expect and resources like the shelter that are available. What can you tell everyone, Mike?
Yeah, Brian, this weekend's storm is something that Governor McMaster says that most people here in South Carolina haven't seen before. The National Weather Service calling this the worst ice storm here in South Carolina in over 2 decades.
So our emphasis is the neighbors, friends, neighbors, and family are really the best defense that we have to what is coming.
An ice storm hit in South Carolina this weekend. Governor McMaster and emergency officials saying to expect the worst the state has seen in years.
This will be the most significant ice storm in the upstate since 2005. And this will not only be worse, but also more widespread.
The governor warning South Carolinians to prepare to be without power for 4 days or potentially more, depending on where they live. On Saturday, President Trump approving the state's request for a federal emergency declaration, bringing federal assistance to all 46 counties.
Airports could be closed down. Again, the highways could be closed, and likely there's no place to go.
More than 3,000 Department of Transportation employees are working around the clock during the storm.
Please prepare now for the possibility that you will not be able to leave your home for several days.
Right now, the National Guard has 375 personnel on duty for the weather event, including 14 vehicle recovery teams for roads. Teams are also on standby to clear roads after the storm. Major General Robin Stilwell says one of the biggest concerns is transporting people with medical emergencies or to shelters after the storm.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you are not ready for power outages or extreme cold, then please relocate or get to a shelter today.
It's going to be cold. It's liable to have all the power lines in the affected areas will be down.
Now, there are more than 20 shelters open across the state to help out those in need, including right here on Calhoun Street. The Inclement Weather Center here at Rapid Shelter Columbia is offering shelter to those who need it over these next 24 hours. Those who know someone who is in need of shelter or who possibly loses power are encouraged to find a local shelter near them. Reporting in Columbia, Mike White. Watch Fox News Local First.
All right, thanks, Mike. Here's some important phone numbers that all of you might want to have handy, so take a look at your screen. Always 911 for those life safety emergencies. That's what you're always going to call. Also, for statewide storm information, that number there, the hotline 1-866-246-0133. And for emotional support, you're feeling in distress maybe if this gets to be overwhelming for you, that number 1-800-985-5990. And local school districts are adjusting plans as well. A number of school districts have either called off classes entirely on Monday or they're switching over to e-learning. You can take a look at some of those districts on your screen. Richland School District 2 is one of those that's doing that. Richland 2, the Sumter County School District, Lexington 3, Newberry County School District, and Kershaw County, also Lee County. They are e-learning on Monday. Richland 1, they are closed. All offices closed. No e-learning because they're concerned about potential power outages and a loss of connectivity to the internet as well. Lexington 1, no decisions made yet about Monday. Of course, as soon as we get this information, we'll keep updating it for you on air and online. You can always count on that website around the clock at WACH.com. And Newberry County is expected to be one of the areas that will feel somewhat of a significant impact here in the Midlands. We continue our team coverage now with that part of the story. Our Brawley's Pimentel is live in Newberry County. 2 locations there for people to go if the lights go down. What do we know tonight?
Brian, Sheriff Lee Foster tells me as the night continues, his deputies are ready if the worst case scenario plays out. The county also made preparations and opened up 2 warming shelters. However, some people who live in the area were making last-minute preparations just this afternoon.
Everybody is pretty much, they're panic buying. I was going to go in there for milk and bread, but there is no milk and bread. Like, the milk is completely gone and the bread's completely gone.
David Metz lives in Newberry County. Like a lot of people there, he was trying to stock up on the essentials for his family before the storm. Metz says he was able to grab canned goods and non-perishable items before icy roads become a problem.
I've been a resident here all my life and for 45 years, and we've had plenty of ice storms, and when there's ice storms, there's going to be plenty of down trees and power outages.
Those outages are a concern here, especially after so many lost power for an extended period of time after Hurricane Helene. That's why on Saturday, Newberry County made Gallman Elementary into a warming shelter that will hold about 94 people. Newberry County Sheriff Lee Foster says it's a team effort to keep everyone warm and safe.
Our operational order is we'll check the roads, we're going to check the shelters, and be available for anybody that needs help. We'll give somebody a ride if there's absolutely a need to do that. Our rescue squads are available to do emergency transports if we have to move people out that are handicapped or invalid. And we're just going to be on standby and wait.
Foster says although his deputies will be monitoring roads, he wants everyone to make smart decisions.
If you can stay at home, stay at home. Ice is different than driving in snow or heavy rain. 1/10 of an inch, just think about it. Just 1/10 of an inch of ice changes what your vehicle dynamics are. It will not steer the same, and it will not brake the same.
There's just no telling how dangerous the roads are going to be because the road crews have already been out, salting the roads. And as this storm comes in, there's just no telling, how quick the roads are going to ice over.
Again, Sheriff Foster is reminding everyone to stay home and to stay warm if you don't have a very good reason to be out driving. And the Gallman Elementary warming shelter will be open tonight throughout the remainder of this weather event. In Newberry County, I'm Bralise Pimentel, Watch Fox News, Local First.
All right, thank you, Bralise. Here's a list of some of the emergency shelters that are available. If you should need one at some point, or maybe you know someone who could get into some trouble during this weather event, you can go to Ridgeview High School, Orangeburg's New City Gym. The Batesburg-Leesville Senior Center is also just tonight saying they'll be open if people need it. The Nice's Senior Center as well. The shelters may not have cots or blankets or all the amenities for every person, so make sure that you do have some type of supply kit potentially that will help you out if you go to one of the shelters.
An hour-by-hour look at how long the freezing rain threat will last on Sunday across the Midlands, coming up next.